Muted us.
Okay.
No, he's green.
Well, it's I got both. All right, everybody. It's 6:30, so we're gonna get started. We are recording the meeting just so everybody's aware of that. We do have a microphone over here on this table. We're gonna try this meeting to be better about when people have questions in the audience, so we have public comment to pass that around so that since we're recording it, we also have people watching online so that they can hear as well, or if they're watching the recording back, they can hear it. So if you have a question or you have something to say, obviously we usually keep things pretty loose around here, especially for the community meetings. If you don't mind grabbing the microphone, help each other pass it around. Jeff will get his steps in and get it around to you. We'd appreciate it. Thank you for volunteering, Jeff. So the agendas are on that back table. If you didn't have an opportunity to grab one, you can grab one now. So our item of business is to discuss a request for a proposal for a new garbage hauling contract. So if you're not already aware, our current pricing agreement with WM, if you're using WM, expires on December of 2025. So that's as far as that goes out. It's, believe it or not, it's been 5 years. So what we just talked about as a board was to put out a request for proposal to all the different waste haulers in the area to try and get a new 5-year preferred pricing agreement from a waste hauler out there so that we can hope pass the savings on to our homeowners. However, that has proven to be much more difficult this year than it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago when it was, well, when did you do the first one? 7 years ago? Okay. 10 years ago when the first one was done. We reached out to 8 different haulers. We put out basically the same requirements as far as what we were looking for that we did previously from WM. And unfortunately, we only got back pricing from a single hauler, and they were only able to give us a 1-year commitment. So the price that we got back was from Waste Management. The price that they are quoting us is for just 2026. They would not commit to us beyond that. And they have a price of $25.51 a month all in, with bulk items being priced separately. If you'd have to call into their customer service and they would price those things accordingly. Yeah, so same service that we're already getting through WM, but that's the new price for 2026. Basically, the two major issues that we're looking at is, one, we don't have a single waste hauler in the community. Everyone gets to choose their own. As long as it's on a Monday, that's fine. The waste haulers that we reached out to, all of them want us to commit to one. They do not want us to have different haulers coming in the community. They won't even look at giving us a price for 5 years unless we're willing to do that. Our issue there is that we don't have the ability to do that as a board. It is not in our declaration. It would have to be an amendment that would be put forth to our declaration in order for us as a board to mandate a hauler on our residents. And it's not something that we are really interested in at this time. What was the other thing? I'm blanking on something. Yeah.
I also think that some of them don't want to take this on because they don't like the administrative part of it, dealing with all the single
Thank you, Jeff.
300 and some houses. So we had people come and visit us and talk to us, and they say, we'd love to do it all, and we can give you a good price, but it have to be everybody.
Yeah.
So,
And that you stirred my memory. I appreciate it. So that was the other thing, is they all want it to be billed through MRH, which would mean your garbage bill being tacked on to the dues, which is another thing that we've talked about. And again, we would need a declaration amendment to do it. We don't have the ability to do it currently. And we don't really want to do that as a board. It's not something that we're really interested in because we have an issue already with people not paying their dues. We have people that don't have trash service in the community. We have people, so it's like, we don't want to, we just don't want to go down that path. We like the way things are now. We think the majority of the feedback that we've gotten from our residents is they don't mind handling their own. And they don't want it really built into the dues.
I think the community also is doing a really good job of making it look nice by kind of dealing with their cans, putting them away, you know what I mean? So I think that's
Yeah.
good. I think we're all kind of trained at this point and understand the way it's supposed to work and makes it look like we don't have cans out every day or on the
Yeah.
side of the houses, so.
So if we do miraculously get, somebody to come back and give us pricing for multiple years or give us better pricing than what WM is currently offering, we'll obviously consider that. But as it stands right now, that is all that we have as far as a commitment from any of the waste haulers. So if you have WM now and you want to continue on with them for 2026, it would be 2151 or 2551 a month all in. Same service as you're getting now, weekly trash and weekly recycling, or you're free to go out and choose any waste hauler that you would like, as long as they can pick it up on a Monday. So that's our update on that. So we're going to continue to work on that. If we do find somebody, we'll let everybody know, and we'll continue to keep people up to date as we go through the process. Because I think there's probably a lot of people out there that don't realize that our current pricing with WM ends at the end of this year. Any questions on that before we move on? Jeff, you're on, Jeff.
Hold on. Oh, there's a right there.
Is it automatic, if we're waste management already, is it automatically going to go into effect? Because the last time between the contracts, we had some problems with calling up waste management and getting their attention and letting them know that we were, yeah, it took a couple months, I think, for them to kind of.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know. The only thing that we have is a price. I don't want to assume, because we know what happens when you assume, but I would assume that the price would just move over. But obviously, we're going to have further conversations with WM. And we would obviously put that out in an email blast to everybody to let them know if there's any action that needs to be taken on your part. If you're a WM customer, do you have to call them? Do you have to sign something? Do you have to do anything to get that pricing? End of this year, and end of 2025. Yeah. And then obviously, if you're with another waste hauler and you're not using WM, that's on you as a homeowner. Couple of quick, not too much, community closeout updates. So they did do videoing of the storm sewers. They did a few storm sewer repairs over the past couple of months. They are almost complete now with the irrigation system in the south field. You can see them working over there, and they're getting pretty close to having that all installed. Kay is going to be looking at the electrical hookup shortly, and they'll get that done. Once they get that done, they're supposed to be transitioning to the field in the northwest corner of the community. They're supposed to be starting with removing all the fill that's in there because that's not graded correctly, and then they'll be eventually installing a similar irrigation system in that field as well. They're continuing to deal with remaining punch list items. Obviously, everyone is probably aware at this point that they've started paving operations. Don't know how tomorrow is going to go with the weather forecast, but we've sent out email upon email upon email, trying to keep people up to date with what's going on with the paving and the schedule. They're going to have 2 full business days of the cleanup. So they obviously did one today. They'll need one more to finish all of the milling of the ends of people's driveways and around manhole covers and things like that. And then after that, they will be in here paving the roads. The only change that we received so far to the schedule was just the little hiccup in that we were informed that half of Sweet Gum Drive is not going to be paved. That's going to be done at a later date. The reasoning for that is because when they're going to be taking out all of that soil, They don't want their heavy trucks that are fully loaded making the turn from Sweet Gum onto Trio Farms, obviously possibly destroying that paving. They just have to redo it anyway. So they're just going to be doing that at a later date. So we'll keep everybody up to date with that. But you've received the paving schedule. That's still what we have. If we do get anything further from Kay or from the contractor, we'll let you know. If there is anything on, like, any big issues on site that you have, you can always obviously get in contact with us or Ryan. But I'll point out as well that there is an on-site supervisor's contact information at the bottom of the paving schedule. So if there is something like super immediate, I would say reach out to them probably even before you reach out to us. With all of this stuff, this is, we're in the middle of K in the township. So we're trying to bring things to light, keep people informed, and try to get us all the best end product that we can possibly get. But these are, projects that K is undertaking with subcontractors. We're not fully in control of those things. Well, not at all in control of those things. We're just between the rock and the hard place that is the township and K, and are just trying to keep our residents informed and keep Kay and the township aware of things that we're seeing, things that our residents are pointing out, so that if there is an issue, it's hopefully taken care of. But that ultimately those decisions are between Kay and the township. Where's the microphone?
He has it already.
Oh, Pete Beach. You have to bring it back there then, just so you know. So make it good.
I was told that the irrigation system between the one on Gramar and the one off of Beach would be different systems. I've been led to believe all along it's been underground pipe feeding drain tiles running through that field.
They're both, as far as I know, they're both the same systems. They're just in different configurations in the field. The one in the front of the community is much more substantial and has a larger footprint. But they're the same, general drip irrigation systems. One, no, I'm pretty sure they're both drip. Yeah.
Paving, and I understand rain and all this, but there's no parking signs everywhere, so we can't move our cars to get out. Like moving the night before they're supposed to be on our street, get out there. People work, people pick up their grandchildren so their kids can go to work. Where are we supposed to put our cars?
Well, you can park there after 5 p.m. on the weekdays, and then they would need to be moved by 7 a.m. each day. And the issue is they obviously are blanketing the community, from what we've been told, is because it is obviously a moving project. So we don't know exactly where they're going to be at any given moment, but they are going to be following the schedule here. So, I mean, if they're supposed to be on Mulberry, more than likely, and don't quote me because I'm not paying your tow fee, if something happens, they shouldn't be paving in front of your house.
But they might be doing something. There's like different groups going together. One could be cleaning, one could be milk. It's one of those blanket ongoing moving projects, so they need to cover more area rather than if you saw today, they had to move the garbage cans from the street to the sidewalk before they could do anything. So they don't want to waste their time towing the vehicles or reaching out to the owner, move your vehicle so we can move our equipment. That's why that's my opinion on that.
I do think that it's gonna be one of those.
Give him your mic.
Stay on their toes a little bit. I mean, if you need to, come up and park on Whitetail. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a little bit of a walk, but
Bring a 4-year-old and a
I understand.
infant
Not,
all the way down.
I get it. Yeah, no, yeah.
I think it's gonna be done, and once they do that section should be done within a day. So we should not have more of a hindrance there. It should be done like, in front of your house, my house. If they start by the end of the day, they should be done.
Yeah, I mean, certainly
it's done.
life is going to be disrupted. Life's going to be a little bit inconvenient for a moment or two, but we just kind of have to all grin and bear it as best as we can and just deal with it. I mean, we've had people in this community, myself included, that have been begging for the streets to be paved for 5+ years. I couldn't be happier to see paving equipment in our community. I'm a little bit disappointed that my section of Sweet Gum is going to remain as it is now, but you know, it is what it is.
Don't
Mike?
let him fool you.
Yeah,
He's getting the special attention. But anyways, going back to the previous paving they did, I don't know if it's the same contractor or not. Jeff and I, we can both, tell you this. When they did Whitetail, they did the entire Whitetail and Mulberry, and it was done in one day. They came in, the mill, they paved, and they were gone.
And it'll be closed for a time, but once the asphalt cools enough and they can allow traffic back on it, they will open the street back up. But there are absolutely going to be times during the day that the street in front of your house may be closed and you may not be able to access the roadway or your driveway, and we're just gonna have to all deal with it.
Shouldn't be more than one day.
No.
You're saying that 7 to 5 is
The signs say Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, and that's what we've been told.
Are they paving in the rain? They pave on highways in the rain.
I don't know. So far, they've canceled one day because of the rain. That was the prep. I don't know about the paving aspect of it. Mike?
All right, my concern is, so I brought this up to Brian in a few emails too, and I also contacted the Justin, was it Stotler, their inspector for the engineering company, whatever, who I've just been advised today that he no longer works for the Carroll Engineering. My concern is, when I moved into the development, they waited to put in our sidewalks, and then they put in our driveways after that, which, you know, normal business construction. When they put in our driveways, they busted up curbing and they ran heavy machinery over freshly poured concrete. Now, when I brought this to the attention, Brian said that the engineer said, Kay's done with the flat work, yada, yada. And if the engineer's telling you that, I understand where you're coming from on that. My concern is that the engineers, he basically told me that spalling is created from the use of salt. Now, I've never used salt on my property. My neighbor has never used salt on her property. I have spalling in areas on my driveway apron. I have just spalling on my neighbor's driveway apron there. They did explain to me that they're going to be using curb parging. Is it called curb parging? But the bottom line is, I have concrete work that should have been addressed and hasn't been addressed. I'm running in circles here, guys. I'm trying to get this done properly. I at no fault of my own did I do anything to create a environment where that concrete would deteriorate like that. My house, I noticed that before 4 years was up. Now I'm asking the HOA to step in. I mean, I'm not trying to say you guys aren't doing what you're supposed to do and all that, but in my perception is the HOA is there to make sure that the builders properly use quality, good, quality products, and that they do a proper job on it.
Yeah.
I could show you pictures. I could show you the whole spiel. I got them dated, everything. And I just want my property area fixed. It's 1 square for me, and I think it's like 2 squares for my neighbor who lives right next to me. These are things that were not created by us. And I'm hoping that you guys can take this up with I sent another email out to the engineer this morning, the engineering company, Carroll Engineering. And somebody needs to step up and help me with this, because this is not my.
And Mike, obviously you and I have had numerous back and forth conversations about this. Very much aware of the issue. The issue, as I've explained before, is that, it's K is being made to make certain repairs as dictated by the township and their engineer. The K has made at this point all of those repairs.
Well, they missed mine though.
So, and as you are well aware, we have brought up your concern on multiple occasions to the township. They were well aware of it. The information that we had gotten back from Carroll was that it did not meet their criteria that they have to follow to make K make a repair. Have you gone to the township? I know that I talked about going back, because at this point, the engineer has signed off on all of the repairs that needed to be made, and K has made all of the repairs that they were required to be made. So at this point, the township is really your only avenue.
Well, I believe I believe the HOA can help me on this too, because.
Well, and
because-
and
I'll tell you what I'll do. So I did this with another person on Elmwood. I think it was. Went to if you want to go to a township meeting, you would like the next township meeting, I'll go with you.
Okay,
And then they have, they open the floor up to the community. And then we can get up and I can kind of bring up the topic. You can bring your pictures with you and go to the supervisors and go through that and let them come back.
yeah, if I can't get it, if I
I
can't
mean,
get it done
I'll go
properly.
with you and bring up the topic. I mean, we did it before and I, did it with
yeah,
somebody with
I mean,
Elmwood,
the issue for us as a HOA is we're like I said, we're just in the middle. We don't have the ability or jurisdiction to tell K or the township what to do. All that we're able to do, and is what we've been doing through this entire process, is as things are brought to our attention, we're passing them along to the proper people. We're passing them along to K, we're passing them along to the township manager and the township engineer, and then they need to take it from there.
I understand that, and I appreciate you, wanting to go with me to the meeting. I'll definitely do that.
let me know. I'll go with you and, get up and speak with you and
Great,
we can
because.
bring that up. So and I'll find out when the next meeting is.
Awesome, great.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, is it this Wednesday? I gotta figure out what time
There's-
it is then.
There's 2 every month. I feel like it's next week, but I'm not sure.
I
without
just want to
looking.
also just to, get across that this engineer, inspector, Justin, was stuck on that it was a salt issue. It was never a salt issue. Salt was never placed on my sidewalk ever. So it was,
Yeah.
and I can read you, and I just want to, because I just want to finish up with this, the I had a thing for spalling. Now, spalling can be created with poor mixtures of concrete and the water. It could be cold. And actually, in that month, yes, in April of that month, and I'd mentioned to Brian too, that they did pour it in the cold. It was in the 30s when they poured my concrete. And they're not supposed to pour below 40, I believe. Well, they poured my concrete in the 30s. And I can go back to that exact day that they poured, and it was like 36 degrees. So there's no issue with me on that. So I appreciate
Yeah.
your help on that.
So it's this Wednesday or the 28th is the meeting after that. So let's exchange phone numbers
Okay.
and stay in contact and I'll attend the meeting with you.
Thank you.
Yes. Well,
So
and
they're not done because the work that they did is crap.
I'm just explaining to you, I'm just explaining to everybody the information that we have. Keep in mind too, that the new work that they did is now in an 18-month maintenance period. So any of that new work that they did will be checked out again by the township's engineer in 18 months. And if there is damage to it, the township can make them come in and repair that again. Same thing with the roads, same thing with the drip irrigation, same thing with all of the improvements that they're making in the community. Once they're completed, they all enter into an 18-month maintenance period where at least we're covered by the township and their engineers.
Tell you, beach between 4405 and 4409, they were originally marked with orange. They never went there and fixed those 2 flaps. They're still like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we pass everything that we have on to the township and yeah. I mean, if you want to send us those, we're happy to pass them along. Whether or not the township's going to make K do anything, that's beyond my pay grade. That's their decision. So I think I mean, at this point, that's all that I have on ongoing projects, unless anybody else has any other questions, comments, or concerns on ongoing projects before I talk about letters of credit real quick. Okay. So at the annual meeting, I think it was, we had mentioned about the letters of credit that Kay has with the bank. So far, 2 of those have been called in by the township. So the easiest way to explain it is nothing really has changed. K is still going to be completing the work just like they always were before. The only difference is who is holding the money. So before a bank was holding the money, now Lower Nazareth Township is holding the security in an escrow account. So they did withdraw two of them because their dates were coming up. So they did take action to take that money. So basically, that's the only difference there is that Lower Nazareth is holding the money versus the bank, but we're still protected so that if anything happens to K and they go bankrupt or whatever, that work will be completed. So the money is still there to protect the work that needs to be done. It's just being held by a different party.
Is there a set cutoff date in 2025 that this work will be completed, or the township starts they just start keeping
So-
the money and hiring subcontractors?
So the township has that option. As the letters come due, they are going to continue to cash them out. That is what they have. That is what the Board of Supervisors has said. As far as hiring other people to complete the work, we haven't gotten there yet. Kay has obviously made a big effort in 2025 to get this work done. We've all seen the amount of work that's been going on in the community. So at this point, they're satisfied as you can be, I suppose, with what Kay is doing, at least for this particular calendar year. And we continue to be told by both Kay and the township that the plans still call for them to be completed with the community in calendar year 2025. Now, obviously, that's subject to change. Projects get delayed, subcontractors get, canned, and you have to hire a new one, materials, tariffs, the whole 9 yards that, that comes, with a construction project. But we have not been told any differently that their plan is still to be completed in 2025.
I understand all that stuff. I've run projects. However, again, the question, what is, no kidding, the cutoff line? Like, okay,
There-
guys,
I
Kay,
mean,
it's out of your hands.
The township would have to give you the cutoff line. I mean, at this point, they're cashing them out, they're cashing the letters out as they come due, so that we're protected. But the Board of Supervisors and Attorney Astique would be the ones that would ultimately make the decision on flipping that switch and saying, sorry, Kay, we're hiring somebody to complete X project. We're not letting you do it. And we're going to pay for it out of that letter or out of that money in escrow. And then Kay would obviously lose out on getting that cash back at any time.
Know that as a project is completed, that was on that punch list from Kay, is letter of credit money then returned to Kay, or is it all held
can-
in escrow until the final?
It
check
can
off.
be requested by Kay. Again, it would be up to the Board of Supervisors whether or not they would approve a drawdown. To my understanding, this year they have not taken anything out. I forget who was next. The stockpile. Yes. Obviously the loader is back there. At this point, I mean, they did tell us that they were going to start hauling dirt out of there again a couple of months ago. Obviously that never happened. Par for the course with Kay, unfortunately. But from everything that we're told, the plan is to finish the drip irrigation field in the front across Bremer Road, and then to start removing all of the excess soil, grade that, and then install the drip irrigation in that field.
Okay, I'm talking about
The whole northwest corner of the community.
Mulberry and Beach.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's the area I'm talking about. So there's a couple of stockpiles that are still back there, and that area is not graded. So they have to get the stockpile out of there, and they have to do grading work in there before they're able to install the drip irrigation system back there. So there's still a significant amount of earth moving that has to go on back there.
Okay, thank you.
We can pass it along, sure. Yeah.
They're cute. Someone.
Yeah, are they paying, Mike, are they paying their dues? No?
Let's get the squirrels, get them out of there. I have a point. Back. And behind what we're talking about, that dirt behind there. And I remember sitting in one of these meetings and he said, the last thing to be done will be the roads. Kay's not getting out of here until all the dirt's moved and all the other stuff is done. Now, okay, they did the concrete sloppily, but it's done. And the dirt is still sitting there. That thing has been there, that machine, for over a month, just sitting there. They should make a playground out of it and let kids jump all over the damn thing. They don't do anything with that. Why? We should not be doing any roads until that was done. That was what we were told, and Kay got away with another one. Now we're going to move dirt and put blacktop down in the same manner.
But yeah.
Yeah, the sweet gum, I get that, Jeff. But the whole point of it was you don't do the roads. Roads, that means sweet gum, which was number 2 on the list. Now they're number whatever the last one is. Okay, that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. If you tell somebody you got to do everything before you start the roads, then that's the way it should have been. Period. I know. Huh? I let it out anytime. You're lucky I ain't on that council. I'm used to this. That doesn't matter. That's the way I live. Anybody else want this? Chris, come on.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, please take that away from him. Moving on to number 4, ponds herbicide spraying. There'll be an email blast that's going out tomorrow. Ryan, if you didn't see it yet, you may not have because I sent it to you late in the day. So as we've explained in previous meetings, we have signed a contract with Tigris to do 2 spraying applications on around the 2 ponds in the front of the community. The first one is coming up soon. As we explained previously, we had to allow the frag out there to grow back up to about 3 to 4 feet tall in order for the application to actually be effective. And so to ensure that we're not wasting our money, you actually have to have it grow back so that it adheres to the vegetation, that it carries it down into the rhizome and the root system, and hopefully you get a good kill out of it. It's going to take more than these 2. It's going to take probably a couple of years easy, and probably something that we'll have to look at doing in the future as well. It's an extremely invasive species. It's something that you see all over the Commonwealth and all over, if you drive around, you see it everywhere. It's really very difficult to get rid of. But, we're committed to keeping that area looking good. And we had that area cleared last year, and we've allowed it to grow up now. And we just measured it over this weekend. I was out there with my tape measure. And I live a wonderful life. And so it's now tall enough. We've let Tigris know. They are aware. They're going to be getting us a date. As soon as we know the date that is all going to be sprayed, obviously we'll be getting that out to the community so that everybody's aware and they're staying out of that area temporarily while they spray. So that's the update that I have on that. Don't smile like that.
Just to touch ever so lightly on Rick's point, I thought we were going to expect Kay to come in there and pull the liner out of there.
So there is still significant work that they need to do on the ponds. They have not done anything with that yet.
Yeah.
That is still on their list, but we are very well aware of the liners. I noted this weekend when I was out there and took a lot of pictures of some bank erosion on the larger pond. We've passed those concerns along to the township so that Carroll Engineering is aware of that. So that is still on the punch list. But this is an actual project that we as a board are in control of and are undertaking. This is separate from the transition work in the community.
And this is also governed partially by Northampton County Stormwater Management too, isn't it?
Yeah. So
That's an additional hammer that can be used on K.
Yeah, the conservation district. Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns on the spraying? Here, use Ryan's. Is there no battery in it?
Ongoing work this year with
Mhm.
Tigris. Is that part of the original contract or has a follow-on contract have been let? I mean, originally we were splitting,
No, so this is completely separate from the removal that was done last year. We as a board have previously, well, we continue to contract with them to take care of the fountains and the bubbler in the front of the community. They do the maintenance on those. They take them out in the winter, they put them back in the spring. And this is something that we are entering into ourselves with them to do this spraying program. And if things go well, we'll continue to utilize them going forward. They're yeah, and this is part of our plan, and we've talked about this previously. Yeah. Anybody else on spraying? Everyone looks thrilled. Yeah. Number 5, just another plug. So we've sent out an email blast twice now. We once again have gotten a preferred pricing agreement from Water Brothers Pressure Washing. So I just want to continue to mention this so that hopefully people take advantage of their services. They have given us discounted rates again for the properties in Trio Fields. The information is on sync. It was also attached to the email blast that we sent out. More than likely, we'll probably send out a few more as the year goes on. They put together this nice, easy order form at the back of the PDF. You fill out your information, you tell them what you want done, you total it up, you sign it, you date it. You can literally take a picture of it and text it to the number that's listed on the information. And this is something that we started last year and we're continuing this year. We've gotten good feedback from people that have used them. I've used them myself the past few years. I think they do excellent work. And this was done in response to the consistent complaints that we have received from homeowners about people that have green siding that was originally beige. And we're just trying to make it a little bit easier for people to get their houses cleaned up in the community. And also maybe save you a couple of bucks as well by getting the preferred pricing put in place. You're free to go with whoever you'd like. This was just the landscaping committee had Bob, you can speak to this if you want to, you don't have to. They went out and they looked at different companies and they compared the service offerings, pricing, all that detail, minutia. And this is the one that was ultimately selected. But again, if you want to go, yeah.
So about that, so yeah, we did look, and this was mentioned a couple meetings ago. We did look at several of them. We got different pricing. They were more or less the most consistent, and at the time, for everything that we were getting. I did in fact use them myself, and I think the benefit came more from the gutters, the cleaning of the gutters. Really cleaned up from that. Yes, they're a little higher this year. When I spoke with them earlier,
Yeah.
they commented they didn't see as much traffic as they were hoping for. And it wasn't necessarily as to their benefit to maintain the same prices last year for the numbers that they saw last year. So I think hopefully we'll get more people on board and that will continue to cause it to level out maybe. But
Yeah.
as you said, there are several out
They
there,
use your water.
some on Facebook.
No, they're very careful with vegetation. They water everything before, then they clean, then they water everything after. So they actually do go to great lengths to take care of the vegetation. Having my home done now twice, we haven't had a single issue with our plants with them spraying and cleaning and everything. So So information's on sync. We'll be sending it out periodically again so that people are keeping aware of it. If you have a special green home that you're aware of and you want to share the information with a particular homeowner, please feel free to do so. And now we're on to our question and answers. So we received, don't perk up. We received one question before the meeting. The question was about the basin, cutting around the basin in the rear of the community where they installed the split rail fence behind Beach Drive. We immediately obviously let A2D know about that. We do our best and Ryan does his best to keep an eye on the cutting of the grass in the community. But we pass that along, and same thing goes for everybody. If you see an area that's a concern, I got one early this morning that was a concern that was passed along to me as well. So if you see an area of common area that isn't being taken care of, obviously we can't be everywhere. Please just let Ryan or us know so that we can pass it along to A2D and make sure that they're cutting everything they're supposed to be cutting. Sometimes we do have some issues with the detention basins or a certain temporary construction driveway between two people's homes or other various spots throughout the community. And when we see them, we address them. But just, let us know and we'll continue to do that and dial it in. Is this about the construction driveway? Okay. Because we let them know I got something from another homeowner that shall
Okay,
remain
well,
nameless
it's that,
at 6:30 this morning.
also the weeds that are growing in the.
Yeah,
stones
they're
are
gonna
like,
spray them.
yeah, they're getting up there. But also if you could just have, what's our landscaping guy?
A2D.
If you could have them, just remember, because I ran out there a bunch of times over the past, since we started cutting grass, and sometimes they forget to cut behind the trees, the trees that are planted there by the
Okay.
developer.
So they're not going back far enough.
Yes,
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Peter will attest to this. I cut the side yard and the backyard and all that stuff for years before they, put that nice little road in there between our house. But if you could just mention that if they could cut behind them trees like there, then I'd be super happy if they can get that done.
So that was the only question that we got before the meeting from people who weren't going to be able to be here. So is there anything else that anybody has that hasn't already been asked? Speak now or forever hold your peace. No?
Once, twice, gone.
Rick had his hand up.
No.
Oh, that's your wife.
Okay. Then we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.